This is an emergency action notification, requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS Operating Handbook for a national-level emergency. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. We interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is 106.7 Light FM. We will continue to serve the New York City area. If you are not in this local area, tune now into stations providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the New York City area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone liner should be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated. We interrupt our regular programming at the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is 106.7 Light FM. We will continue furnishing news, official information and instructions for the New York City area. If you are not in the New York City area, you should tune out to stations providing news and information for your area. It is important that you listen carefully to announcements from a station in your local area. Stand by. The President of the United States, or his designated representative, will be speaking shortly.
The following message has been given authorization for release at the request of myself, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the United States Fish and Wildlife Services, and the United States government, effective as of 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. I regret to inform the citizens of the United States that a national state of emergency is in progress due to an unprecedented event taking place throughout our nation. At approximately 10:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, thousands, if not millions, of extremely dangerous giant amphibians, specifically frogs, were reported in all 50 states, including Alaska and Hawaii, as well as all United States territories, including Puerto Rico, the United States Virgin Islands, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, and American Samoa. These amphibians are attacking and killing anyone in their path, while also causing catastrophic damage to multiple cities. They attack their victims by chasing them down, crushing them under their massive weight, or swallowing them whole as multiple bystanders watch in complete shock, disgust, fear, and horror. Several species, including the American bullfrog, wood frog, Cuban tree frog, red-eyed tree frog, Pacific tree frog, golden poison frog, glass frog, and Goliath frog, are wreaking havoc across the nation. While these creatures resemble normal wild frogs, they are significantly larger, ranging from 15 to 30 feet tall, as well as stronger, faster, and much more aggressive. They can easily be identified by the following characteristics and traits: oversized, solid black eyes with red pupils, blood weeping from their eyes, newly grown, dagger-shaped claws, the ability to jump incredibly high, a long, sticky tongue, and displaying extreme homicidal aggression toward anyone and anything in their path. The origin of this crisis stems from a severe hazardous materials incident that occurred in Portland, Oregon. A transport truck carrying 15 barrels of radioactive waste, which was originally en route to the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, lost control and crashed into the Oaks Bottom Wildlife Refuge. The impact forced the barrels directly into the water, breaching their seals and releasing the highly volatile radioactive waste. Local frog populations immediately made contact with the contaminated water. The radioactive exposure triggered rapid, catastrophic mutations, causing them to morph into these giant, destructive, and wrathful creatures. Driven by an unnatural, merciless rage, they have swarmed out of the refuge, initiating the nationwide devastation we are witnessing today. These amphibians are completely resilient to all forms of weaponry, including heavy gunfire, bombs, and blunt force trauma. Despite the desperate efforts of the military and the National Guard to neutralize the threat, conventional forces have proven entirely ineffective. The devastation is already catastrophic. Reports confirm 4 million deaths, 160,000 injuries, countless homes and buildings destroyed, and a staggering number of missing citizens. An estimated 3 million giant frogs have been reported across the territories, and these apex predators continue to spread further and further by the minute. To make matters even worse, the crisis escalated dramatically yesterday when the Duane Arnold Energy Center in Palo, Iowa, suffered a catastrophic meltdown and exploded after being targeted and breached by the creatures. To add fuel to the fire, these apex predators are actively absorbing the raw radiation. Instead of being neutralized by the intense thermal and radioactive energy, the creatures are mutating further, becoming even more unstoppable, aggressive, and highly radioactive themselves. To rub salt into the wound, we are now receiving deeply disturbing reports regarding the creature's reproductive cycle. Immediately after a victim is crushed, the frogs lay highly radioactive eggs directly into the wreckage. These eggs hatch a mere 5 minutes later, and the newborn mutations reach maturity to repeat the devastating cycle just 10 minutes after that. This rapid acceleration means the threat is multiplying exponentially by the hour. It is now certain that these amphibians will not stop their destructive rampage anytime soon. Experts warn that if they are not contained, it is only a matter of time before they cross our borders and spread across international waters, triggering a global catastrophe. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation, and needs to be taken seriously. I am asking all Americans, no matter where you live, to follow these given instructions, as this can help you to increase your chance of survival. Effective immediately, I will be placing the entire nation under a mandatory shelter-in-place order, as well as martial law. Martial law means the military will now control all aspects of life. All essential activities have been prohibited, and a complete restriction of travel has been implemented. No one is allowed to leave the country for any reason. If you are caught attempting to leave, you will be arrested, or shot on sight by the U.S. National Guard. Find a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Stay away from windows, doors, and outside walls. Put as many objects between you and the outside world as possible. Close, lock, and barricade all windows and doors from the inside to prevent these creatures from entering your home. Turn off all heating and air conditioning systems. Close all curtains and blinds. Close all fireplace dampers and vents. And seal all cracks on doors and windows with tape, glue, damp clothing, or damp towels. Grab an essential set of supplies for your shelter that will last you and your family for the duration of this emergency. Take food, water, clothing, medical supplies, toys, money, credit cards, sleeping items such as pillows and blankets, medicine, lighters, candles, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone, chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with extra batteries. Make sure you turn off all lights and electricity in your home. Turn off all electronic devices such as televisions, computers, phones, laptops, and tablets. Make as little noise as possible. And keep the brightness and volume level on your electronic devices at the lowest level possible to avoid attracting one or more of these frogs to your shelter. If one or more of these creatures manage to enter your home, use armed protection by all means. This includes lethal force. Do not go outside for any reason. If you do, you will be putting your life in extreme danger. Most importantly, do not approach or make contact with these creatures. They are considered extremely dangerous, as encountering them will almost certainly result in being crushed under their massive weight or swallowed whole. Do not panic. I repeat, do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse than it already is. My fellow Americans, this is clearly an unprecedented time in our nation's history. We have never seen anything like this in our civilized existence. Frogs, which are supposed to be beautiful, cute, hopping, croaking, and interesting green creatures, have instead become giant, destructive, wrathful, and deeply murderous monsters. They are driven by a thirst for blood, mass destruction, power, and terror, with a single, ultimate goal, to take over planet Earth as a final, brutal act of revolt against humanity. Even though we are dealing with a lot of uncertainty and chaos, we will rise up from the ashes as one nation, under God, and try to rebuild this nation back to its former glory once all of this is over. We will be resilient and stronger than ever before. If we can get together as loyal American citizens, we will get out of this crisis, and go back to normal again. Always stay positive and have hope during these dark times. The United States government, along with international allies across the globe, are preparing to deploy a coordinated nuclear strike if these amphibians continue to spread throughout the rest of the world. We will not allow these creatures to take over our planet. However, readying our nuclear missiles via silos, submarines, and transporter erector launchers will take minutes or even hours to deliver and launch, and by then, it may be too late. Because these giant frogs present a potential mass extinction level event, even our ultimate weapon may not guarantee our survival. Thank you for listening to this message. Stay safe, stay strong, stay vigilant, and as always, God bless the United States of America.
That was a message from the President. We now return to the emergency alert system. This concludes all operations of the emergency alert system. However, normal programming will be suspended indefinitely, or until this crisis has ended. Please stay tuned to local media outlets for more information on the situation.